With this, let's go ahead on and just start this video now. So, where we last left off, Deku has just got done with his training for the next 4 years, training with the dragons. He's also just made in the UA by way of recommendation. I did not cover the recommendation exams because I actually never do, because we only saw one part of it, which was a race. So, and he's gonna win, so I didn't really cover it. I felt that there was no need to cover it, so here we are. So, Deku ends up walking into the classroom. He takes his seat. No one actually knows who he is, so everything runs smoothly. Upwards into Aizawa comes into the classroom. If you're here to make friends, I suggest you go ahead and leave now. I have only a couple of years to train you to become the greatest heroes you can possibly be. And to me, that ain't enough time. So, put these uniforms on and head down to Training Ground Beta. And I'm gonna need you all to hurry up. If you're not there within 5 minutes, you're expelled. And that includes changing time. Go now. Everyone would immediately rush off. They all have the uniforms on. Well, there they will all end up entering outside. When they make it outside, when they make it into the locker room, Mineta ends up trying to peek through a hole. This time around, Deku grabs his head, and immediately he stares into his eyes. Let me make myself clear. If you look in that hole, I will rip your eyes out. Do you understand me? But on the other side, it's hell. I said, if you look through there, I'll rip your eyes out. And that is enough out of both of you. Both of you are being very shut up. From the minute I stepped into the class, you were telling you to shut your mouth. You don't know me, I don't know you. But I know you're Quirk, Ada, the younger brother of Ingenium. You're not that impressive compared to him. Katsuki was immediately preparing to let off a loud scream. Deku then would lift up his finger. Your mother's fine. Your mother is bad. You may not recognize me yet, but you will eventually, Kazuki. As immediately Izuku walked off, and Bakugo just looks confused. Why did he say my mom is bad? It was his only thoughts. Deku ends up immediately bursting off, where he appears directly at Training Ground, Gamma, Beta, whichever one I said. But when he appears there, Aizawa looks at him. Izuku Midoriya, you're first to arrive. Therefore, you will be second in line. Izuku would nod. Kazuki ends up coming out. He ended up getting first place like he did in the original timeline. He ended up throwing the ball to get the same exact score. Next up is Izuku. Izuku looks at it. You want me to throw it with my full power? Aizawa would nod. Alright. Izuku's hair instantly glowed a bluish color around it on one end, and on the other hand it glowed a dark black color. Immediately as both of Izuku's eyes would turn black with slits through them. Alright, bet. Izuku's hand is suddenly coated in a powerful aura. Wrapped around it will be scales and fire and lightning. Everyone looks kinda confused. Izuku then yells, Flaming Thunder Dragons Roar! Immediately he unleashes a massive burst of pure power. As Izuku lets off just a sinister smile as immediately it is launched off at absolutely insane speed. Aizawa's eyes would widen. 26 meters? No, that can't be right. He looked at it again, but there he realized that it's still going up by zeros. 26,000 meters. How is that possible? I think he's almost past All Might's record. Izuku then would turn and only grin. What's your name? Izuku Midoriya. Everyone in class would immediately perk up after hearing that name, except for Bakugo. But Izuku Midoriya, they all would say. Wait. That means that you're the son of Lady Dracula and the son of Dragonburn. Indeed, he would say. He's the son of the number 3 and number 5 pro hero. Bakugo hears this, and Todoroki also hears this. I mean, it was said that she was pregnant, but apparently she was pregnant for years. Like, years. Does that technically make him older than us? Or no one asks. Technically, no. As I would say, he wasn't born in years, so no. actually. It was a weird case. Because of his mother's quirk, she couldn't give birth like a normal person. It took her much longer. The process was worse on her as well. Izuku's father was never one of the top heroes. It took him many years to get where he was. I assume they trained you well. Izuku looked up at him with a nod. They never allowed me to become spoiled and arrogant on the other hand. He would turn and look at Bakugo. I see students right now, and their parents clearly didn't raise them right. Bakugo hears this and would immediately walk towards Deku and get in his face. Deku would get directly in Bakugo's. You must think I'm afraid of you, Kazuki. But you will never scare me. You will always be nothing in comparison to me. Remember your place, or I will put you back in it, like the dog that you are. Now bark. Pause. That sounded wrong. That came out wrong. That came out like really wrong. But he tells him, now remember your place beneath me. My authority is first. No one else's will ever come before mine because you are nothing in comparison to me. You fool. He walked off. After walking off, Aizawa just stayed quiet. I mean, I ain't finna do nothing. That dude ain't got nothing on me, and I don't got time for it. As Izuku walked off, he suddenly would stop and immediately turn and look directly at the bushes. You could come out now, whoever you are. The class would look on in confusion. So Aizawa, he could just leave like that? Aizawa would say, according to what I've seen on the ball throw, if that's what he's able to do with his pure physical strength alone, his speed should be outlandish. Hasashi is very good at parkour, and there's no way on earth he didn't train him in any of that. I honestly don't even think he needs it. I seen how he did at first during recommended exams. That kid is a monster. Todoroki would say, he's not much. Izuku then would stop and turn. I'm not much, and yet you, Shoto Todoroki, you only use half of your power. You can't talk about anybody, any way, shape, or form. So go ahead. If you think you can defeat me, then step into this ring. Well, small circle. I don't think that's enough room. Izuku walked forward. Aizawa then would say, if either one of you throw a single punch, or any type of blast, or any type of quirk-based ability, I will expel both of you. Izuku would just laugh. Alright. He looks at Todoroki. Freeze the teacher. Todoroki would immediately turn and shoot a massive ice blast that Aizawa would immediately cancel. He looks at Todoroki in confusion. What did you? Try to look at Izuku. Why did you? Izuku did just start grinning. You said if anyone uses a quirk technique. I didn't use a quirk at all. Your mother can do the same thing. I know you use your quirk. But did I use a quirk? I didn't, believe it or not. Everyone look at Izuku confused. He just sits down. Everyone else performs a test, and Izuku ends up somehow still getting first place on a lot of things that he ended up doing. The group strength test he crushed. The side to side he absolutely destroyed. With this, we're done. We're cutting over towards later on. End of the day, as all of them are walking, immediately he's approached by Ochako, who asked him many questions about his powers. As Izuku was walking, he explained a good majority of his abilities, but they couldn't be nothing more than shocked. You mean to tell me you have that many powers? Ito would say. Izuku would nod. It's the product of my 2 quirks. 2 quirks? Well, yes. I'm a unique case amongst my people, my family. No one else is born like me. Especially considering that my parents have 2 quirks of very similar lineage, but they're very much so opposites. As they sat there and talked with him most of the time, Izuku only continued to walk off. Until eventually he ended up walking. And he hit a turn, and there was a limo waiting on him. He got inside of it. So, where are we going, Himura? A man would turn. It depends on where you want to go. You want to go to the Dragon Realm, or you want to go to your mansion? You know where I want to go. Himura would smile as he would say, you really are my favorite cousin. As he immediately presses a button and suddenly portal will open up and they end up driving straight into his driveway. This just so happens to be a mansion. Humongous one. And there I am walking inside. You already know what I'm finna ask you. What a hoe's at? Izuku would turn. The ones you don't have? Don't worry about that. But as I'm walking off, Izuku ends up closing the door, and with this, we're going to time skip on over towards the day when All Might arrived. We're not going to cover the cafeteria scene because I usually don't cover it. I'm not going to lie, I would cover it every blue moon. I think I recently covered it, which is enough, because I don't actually like the scene. I don't think there's really a point, and I feel like that whole scene just didn't make any sense. You all are training to be heroes, and you're running immediately. Yeah, I didn't like that. But for plot convenience, it's just going to go the exact same as it did in canon. The difference is Zuko's going to actually fly up there and see what's going on. He's going to tell Ida because, Ida or Bakugo both have the loudest mouths he's seen so far. He ended up telling them. They screamed and told everyone, and now here we are. But let's get into the real good stuff. All Might ends up arriving. And when All Might ends up arriving, the first thing he does is hit the, "I am here!" So, when he arrives, immediately, everyone is all happy and excited aside from Izuku. He shows no signs of actually caring. All Might ends up splitting them up into teams. Now the teams are going to be Shoto Todoroki and Mina Ashido versus Izuku Midoriya and Moro Mineta. Izuku hears that team, and Mineta just starts talking real perverted about Mina, and Deku just looks at him. "I'm going to break you up from that." "Huh? I'm going to break you up from that. Don't worry about when and don't worry about how, but just know you're going to stop saying stuff like that." And it's like, but she's bad though. I mean, look at her. I just want to eat her alive. Izuku then straight up appeared right in front of him and grabbed him by the throat. "Look now. The first time, I didn't break your neck immediately. This time I will. Do you understand that?" You'd say some shit like that again. Play games with me. I want you to. I will show absolutely not a hint, not a gram, not a minuscule ounce of mercy on you. Do you understand me by now? Mineta would nod. Good. He immediately gets up and walks away. See, you gotta actually threaten their lives a couple of times. You gotta actually give them put the fear of God in their heart. When that happens, you should be good enough. Now, Deku ends up getting into a fighting stance. Now, I'm not really going to explain this hero suit. We're just going to make it basically the same as it was in canon because I'm not good with hero suits, and I'm going to actually design one later on. I'm going to put it in a thumbnail, the next thumbnail at least. So probably it's going to be in a movie thumbnail, so hopefully you guys are okay with that. I don't really want to make anyone aggravated, but it's just like, hero suits is not my thing, so just imagine, I don't know, some type of armor with places for his wings to come out. Anyways, but Deku gets into his fighting stance as he tells Mineta they already had a head start. So he grabs Mineta and immediately jumps in the air, and suddenly the entire building is frozen. He would immediately say, "I figured he'd do that." As he immediately sees Todoroki walking out. "Izuku, I'll make this fast." As he immediately lifts up his hand, flash freeze. As immediately Deku would yell, "Hellfire." As instantly the two attacks are immediately clash directly into each other, with Izuku fire overpowering Shoto's ice because it's just way too hot. Izuku would burst forward and immediately slam a punch directly into Todoroki's stomach. Todoroki is launched backwards. Izuku immediately sure to fade away into bats and reappear, forming right back out of bats right behind Shoto. He kicks him directly in the back. And it wasn't like a jump kick, but more like an up kick. It ends up kicking him upwards into the air. Izuku then literally uses his telekinesis, which he does have. Not very powerful, but he has it. Like vampire telekinesis, at least in Izuku's case, because he's only half vampire, he's able to at most pick up a large, I'd say about he's able to pick up at least 2 buildings, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So, people are able to pick up entire islands. But Izuku just picked up Todoroki and literally slammed him through wall after wall after wall before using his telekinesis to lift up a bunch of rocks as he lit them aflame and start throwing them at Todoroki. Todoroki would immediately start sending off waves of ice that it ends up freezing over the rocks. He ends up sliding forward and immediately goes directly in for flash freeze, which Izuku ends up jumping over and immediately shooting Todoroki with a point blank burst of lightning. Izuku then would smile as he would yell, I've been using my dragon powers a lot lately. And you know, I've only been using my elements. I'm actually holding back. Todoroki will look at him, you're holding back, and yet you're using powerful elemental techniques. What other powers do you have? Izuku hears it and only grins. I have a lot more powers, and you aren't using your ice to its true potential. So, he gets into a fighting stance. I'm gonna give you this one opportunity. Use your ice to its correct potential, or I will flash freeze, or I will burn you alive, and I will rip your heart out, and I'll turn you into a monster. Izuku would say, grinning. Todoroki doesn't believe him, but Izuku's right eye slowly began to turn to a dark red. Fine. Don't believe me. Izuku suddenly disappears and immediately appears and slams his fist directly into Todoroki's stomach as blood pours out everywhere. Todoroki falls and immediately hits the ground, screeching in pain. All Might would immediately scream, as along with the entire class, Izuku just lifts up one finger. And suddenly everyone hears inside of their head, calm down, it's just an illusion. You all can see it, but he's still the one that can feel it. He's not actually dying. But like, wait, how are you talking in my head? Everyone would end up saying out loud. Say, because I can. And how many did ends up saying? He ends up making a phone call. When they're on the phone, Inko will pick up. What do you want? Okay, so he put us underneath an illusion where like all of us can visibly see it, and a kid down there is the only one that can actually feel it. Can he actually do that? Well, he can. I can't. Any question, how can he do something but you can't? Because he has two quirks, and he's able to like slightly align them to where the effects of one can actually strengthen the effects of another and actually mutate it. So, yeah. So he can just... I know you can mind control people, so with this he's able to bring like entire groups of people underneath an illusion. Correct. Is there any limitations to it? Of course. If you know that you're underneath an illusion, you're completely immune to it. Or if you know that he's planning on doing it, you are immune. That's a pretty bad weakness. Yes, but you actually never know when you're underneath one because it's too realistic. So you see Todoroki on the ground, aching in pain. As Izuku then begins to walk around him, use your fire, burn the wound shut. As immediately he kicks Todoroki and immediately sends him flying. Mind you, the kick was real. But if I say like he does something and I, specify or I say it louder, it's real. But he ends up kicking Todoroki. Once he kicks him, he bursts forward and immediately slams a punch directly into his face, slamming Todoroki's head directly into the wall. As Mina and Mineta see this, they both just look at each other. Mina's like, let me touch him. As Mina immediately blasts Mineta with acid and he's done for. She immediately looks at Izuku and says, that's enough! And she instantly... I'm sorry for that noise. As she immediately shot a blast of acid towards Izuku, Izuku suddenly activates his scales and blocks it. Sorry, Mrs. Mina, but you're in the way. He blitzes backwards and straight up hits her with the back of his fist and knocks her dead out. Now, mind you, in case you're wondering, he speed blitzed her when he did that. In case you're wondering, bro has no sympathy, he shows no mercy, and he's just that guy. Okay, Izuku is that guy. And what if I do that involve him? He's going to be that guy. But he ended up immediately knocking her ass back. Once he did so, he would turn and tell her that don't get back in my way again when I'm trying to fight. So he ends up going off and proceeds to start beating the crap out of Todoroki. Eventually, as Todoroki's getting beaten, he would stand up. Something ain't right, he would say. I don't feel the wound. So look at him and smile. So you realized. You faked it. It's not real, is it? Izuku would just smile and just laugh. Nah, it ain't real. As Todoroki suddenly no longer feels the wound, she looks in his, his stomach, the wound is gone. But I would say, wow, she was telling the truth. That was actually fake. And that's a goated quirk. Everyone began to say, that's actually pretty goated. I need a quirk like that. Mineta ends up saying the things I would do. But Izuku just would look at him. I could have sworn she beat his ass. How was he still up? Why won't he just I don't like this dude. But boom. Izuku would immediately boom forward and goes directly in for a punch, which Todoroki ducks and slams a fist made out of fire directly into Izuku's stomach and launched him back. Izuku looks on and just grins. Look at you. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. You finally tapped into your nature. You're finally using your true power. Izuku would say, grinning, as he gets down into a bigger fighting stance. He slams his foot on the ground, and before Todoroki can react, he uppercuts him immediately. He blitzes forward and starts hitting him with strike after strike after strike after strike, as Todoroki instantly lets off a flash freeze point blank on Izuku's face. Izuku's head is completely frozen. As Todoroki goes in with a flaming fist, he punches him across the face, melting the ice and sending Izuku flying, instantly snapping Izuku's fucking jaw. Like, Izuku's jaw is snapped and he starts coughing up blood. The entire class is stunned, and Todoroki looks absolutely baffled by what he just did. He didn't even much know he could do something like that. Izuku just gets up and just starts laughing. Yes, now that's what I'm talking about. You need to be more like that, young Todoroki. What did you say? I said you need to be more like that, young Todoroki. He gets up and immediately lets off a barrage of attacks over and over and over and over again, with Todoroki only getting pushed more and more and more back. Izuku just starts attacking after attacking after attacking after attacking. He ends up grabbing him by the face and just rips it. Like he literally starts slowly tearing his skin apart. Todoroki lets off a screech as Izuku holds on to him, with claws suddenly starting to spawn out of his hand. Blood point, he would yell, as Todoroki screeches of pure, unadulterated pain. Izuku just laughs. Come on, I thought you were stronger than that. I mean, I am a fool for expecting any better out of you, but you can't even handle that. As he holds him, he would immediately start punching him over and over and over again, with blood only coming more and more and more out of Todoroki's face, mouth. Izuku holds him up and slams a punch into his stomach, and Todoroki is finally sent flying. He then walks towards him and points his fingers forward. He then proceeds to lift off his abilities. I was trained by Marashi the Great and Asashi Midoriya, second greatest of our people. Well, third greatest. I was trained by some of the strongest creatures alive. Don't ever think that you can compare to me. Izuku kicks him across the face and walked off. With that, Todoroki's laid out. Mina's been knocked out by Izuku a good second back. He walked towards Mineta, who's barely conscious, who's actually sort of not conscious because the wound hurts him too much, but he's pseudo-conscious. He points one finger at him, blood curdle. He would say, as suddenly Mineta begins to be healed by his blood. Everyone is stunned. And the only thing they can do is just declare Izuku the winner. All Might ends up seeing just the absolute brutality that is Izuku. In case you're wondering why Izuku is so brutal, this is because of his two DNAs. Dragons are brutal creatures, and vampires are crazy creatures. Together, that does not make a very sane combination. It creates Izuku, an absolute demon and a freak of nature. Literally, he's literally a freak of nature. He's not meant to be born. So, he's like this because he's not normal. With this is where we're going to be ending off part 2. Hopefully this video is at least 20 to 15 minutes. I didn't want to make this video too long, and I didn't want to make it too short, so I always try compromising and like expanding the stories a little bit more for y'all. I don't want to give y'all like these quick and just bland videos of me doing the same stuff and recording the same videos over and over and over again, so I always try to change it up a bit. Guys, look, I have a bunch of playlists on my channel that are all deleted videos, so I want you to know that this, like, I think the only one that's not deleted are the one that said that it's called, literally called movies, but that one's also kind of deleted too because it has a lot of videos in it that are deleted. But who knows? See, what if Deku was left to die? Yeah, I don't know why that playlist is still there, and I'm gonna figure out how to delete it. Never mind, I see how to delete it. I take all that back. I know how to delete it. Anyways, So if you like this video, you guys enjoy my channel, subscribe to my other channel, link in description. It's a reaction channel. If you guys like that, just let me know. And if you guys get that channel to 100 subscribers, I will record on it every day, just like I do on this channel. I be real, child, I record every day on this channel. I just don't post all my videos. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I record every day. Aside from days when I have something very important going on, or any type of, you know, mental issue, I just don't record then. But I do record every single day. So now, guys, I have a Naruto, specifically a Naruto What If movie coming out. So I want y'all to go ahead on and tell me this right now. What do y'all want the movie to be? What do y'all want it to be? Because if it comes out, and when it comes out, comment this down below. And if I reply, you know, explain, I'm gonna send a Discord link, or actually go to the Discord link in the description. Join the Discord server so I can actually understand whoever this character is and what are their powers, and also send a picture of them so I can make my art for it. Okay. Anyways, this gonna be in this video off right here. Please like and subscribe to this channel. If you already seen the first part and you didn't subscribe, trust me, you won't regret it. With this, I was gonna say because you give me our royalty, but anyways, I'm out.